Good morning, dear students. Today, again, we are joining with or we are meeting with our biology class. Two classes already completed from second chapter or related to the second chapter. Today, we are moving to an important part related to the sense organ eye, that is the defects or disorders of eye. That is a major part from 10th standard biology, and every year many question is repeating from this area, so we can directly move to the chapter or lesson that is to be studied. Okay, before going to the disorders or diseases, we had to rewind some of the diseases or disorders that you have already studied from the last year or from the 9th standard as the part of physics. Some disorders that you have already studied from 9th standard. One among them is myopia, or it is also called short-sightedness. Myopia or short-sightedness. Can you remember that now, or can you say that now? I think you are okay now. You are saying that in such a way, I think. That means, as the name indicates itself, it is a problem there the patient or the person can see the nearby objects only clearly. He can see the nearby objects clearly, and he will be unable to see the distant objects clearly. Such a situation is called short-sightedness. Short-sightedness. There, the person will be able to see the nearby objects only clearly, and he will be unable to see the distant objects clearly. Such a situation is called short-sightedness, or it is also called myopia. Okay? Yes. Then, how it is or why it is caused, or what is the reason for this disease? That is the next point that we have studied. It is caused by the increase in the length of eyeball. Increase in the length of eyeball, or when the length of the eyeball increases, it will result in the disorder called what? This short-sightedness. Okay. Then how it can be rectified, or how it can be treated, or how it can be cleared, or the treatment for this disease is what? It is nothing but using concave lens. Concave lens. So related to this disease, we have discussed 3 points. What is the condition of the disease, then how it is caused, and how it can be treated. When you study about the disorders or diseases of the eye, you have to study like this. In this pattern you have to study, or this pattern is to be followed. Then no point will be lost from you, and no mark also will be lost. Okay. Then we can move to the second disease that is also studied from the last year. Then it was hypermetropia. It was hypermetropia. Hypermetropia means it is the long-sightedness, just opposite of myopia. It was short-sightedness. This is what? Long-sightedness. So symptoms and all other things will be opposite of this disease. So what is that? Here the person can be, or he will be able to see what? Distant object. He will be able to see distant object, and he will be unable to see the nearby object. Just opposite now. He will be able to see distant object, and he will be unable to see nearby objects in the case of hypermetropia. So what may be the reason? The reason is decrease in the length of eyeball. Just opposite. Decrease in the length of eyeball. That is the reason for what? Hypermetropia. Then how it can be treated? It can be treated by using convex lens. There is also opposite. First one was concave lens. Here it is what? Convex lens. So by using convex lens, this disease can be cleared or it can be treated. Okay, children? Yes. Next, one more disease that is also studied. It is presbyopia. Presbyopia. There, we know when we studied about the lens in the eye in the first class from this chapter or first part of this chapter, we have discussed about the lens in the eye. It is transparent, it is convex, that is common, but it was elastic in nature. The lens in the eye was elastic in nature. When that elasticity or the power of elastic or that means that elastic nature, when it is lost from one person's eye or when the lens lost the elasticity, that person will be unable to see nearby object. Unable to see nearby object. Same like hypermetropia. When the lens loses its elasticity, that person will be unable to see nearby objects. That condition is called what? Presbyopia. Presbyopia. Okay. Then how it can be treated? Presbyopia. Presbyopia can be treated by what? Same like hypermetropia. Hypermetropia, which kind of lens was used? There, convex lens was used. In the case of presbyopia also, which lens? This convex lens is used. Okay. So, these three are the diseases that we have already studied from the lower classes. Now, we are moving to the diseases or disorders that we have actually studied from 10th standard. Okay, look here. One disease or one disorder, you can say so, that is night blindness. From the name itself, we can understand night blindness. There, it doesn't mean he will be blind in the night. No. In dim light, that person will be unable to see. Okay. So, night blindness is a condition. There, the person will be unable to see where in dim light. Not only in the night, in dim light, he will be unable to see clearly. Such a condition is called what? Night blindness. Why it is caused? It is caused because of the shortage of vitamin A or deficiency of vitamin A or the low quantity of vitamin A in our diet or in our food or in our body. Our body needs vitamin A. When the quantity of vitamin A is less, what will happen? It will lead to a condition there the person will be unable to see where in dim light. Such a condition is called what? Night blindness. Just we can read the sentences in the textbook. The deficiency of vitamin A result in the low production of retinal. This in turn prevents the resynthesis of rhodopsin. In this condition, objects cannot be seen clearly in dim light and this disease is called night blindness. I think that will be difficult for you to study. But one more time I will explain. You check which one is easy to you that you have to copy. Okay. When vitamin A is deficient in the daily diet, when vitamin A is less in our food, what will happen? That will lead to a condition of low production of retinal and that will lead to a condition of difficulty to see clearly in dim light and this is called what? Or this condition is called night blindness. Or you can also say that like the inability of a person to see clearly in dim light because of the deficiency of vitamin A in the diet is called what? Night blindness. Many answers I told. One only you can remember or you can catch and that you study. Don't go to the all, then nothing will be there. That much. Only need or that is enough about what? Night blindness. Next we can move to the next disease or disorder, that is what is called xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia. Look, when the deficiency of vitamin A is there in the diet, first it will lead to a condition called night blindness. When the night blindness prolongs or for more days or months, when the vitamin A is deficient itself in his body, then serious or major problems will be there. First, when the deficiency is prolonged, what will happen? The cornea we know actually it is transparent, and conjunctiva we know that is a wet layer. Full time it is wet, not dried. So what will happen? If vitamin A is continuously was absent in the food, what will happen? In that person's, the cornea become opaque. Cornea is also wet. So cornea and conjunctiva dry and the cornea become opaque. Actually cornea is transparent like a glass. It become opaque. Opaque means then light cannot pass through it. Such a condition will be there. First, cornea and conjunctiva become dry. Then cornea become opaque. Then that leads to a condition of blindness. Such a situation or such a condition or such a disorder is called xerophthalmia. So the prolonged deficiency of vitamin A leads to a condition of drying of what? Cornea and conjunctiva, and the cornea become opaque. Such condition or that condition is called what? Xerophthalmia. Okay, then slowly xerophthalmia leads to which condition? Blindness. In the case of xerophthalmia and night blindness, the treatment is vitamin A rich food materials include in the diet. Vitamin A rich food items include in our daily diet, like leafy vegetables, then other vegetables, fruits. These all we eat more. Then what will happen? Vitamin A will be rich in these items. Then as a result, this problem can be rectified or it can be cleared or treated somehow. Okay, so these two diseases okay to you? Next we can move to the other disease, that is what is called color blindness. Color blindness. That is the next disease that we have to study. From the name itself we can understand what it is. Color blindness. That means a person become unable to detect or identify colors. That disease is called color blindness. The person become unable to detect some colors. Not all the colors. That condition is called what? Color blindness. Why it is caused? We know actually we have cone cells in our eye. That cone cells, there are 3 types of cone cells in our eye, that also we know. These 3 types of cone cells that help us to detect red, blue and green colors. This is the normal condition. But when there is any defect in the cone cells, when there is any defect for any cone cells, what will happen? We will be unable to identify that color. There are 3 types of cone cells. Cone cells that help to identify red color, some cone cells help us to identify blue color, some help us to identify red color, red, blue, green. 3 types are there. If any type of cone cells are defected, what will happen? That color cannot be identified. So we will be unable to, or we cannot identify that particular color, and the mixtures of that color also cannot be identified clearly. Such a condition is called color blindness. So color blindness is a condition of the person become unable to detect or identify some particular colors with the defect in the cone cells. Okay, then this kind of persons cannot be selected for, or they will not be selected for the post like driver, pilot, and also in the army, there or military purpose, they will not be selected. Why? Because driver post, it is related to signal light. Red color is there, green color is there, yellow color is there. So red, green. If the person is unable to identify red color, what will happen? If such a person is a driver, when red signal blinks, he cannot identify that. He will go with the vehicle and there will be chances for accident. In the case of pilot also, all the informations are given with signals when at the time of landing and takeoff. So if the pilot is having with this disease, then there will be chances for attacks and accidents. In the case of army also, many messages are transferred through signal lights. If the person is having this kind of disease, he also will be unable to identify that signal. So there will be chances for accidents and dangers. That's why this kind of persons will not be selected for the job like military, pilot and driver. Okay, so here again the main cause of this disease is what? The defect in the cone cells. Then there is no treatment for this disease. All other diseases can be treated, but color blindness cannot be treated. Okay, yes. Now we can move to the next disease. See what is the next one? It is glaucoma. What is the disease? Glaucoma. Okay, glaucoma, we know when we studied about the fluids in the eye, one part was there. Then fluids in the eye, there we have seen there are two types of fluids in the eye. One is aqueous humor and the other one is vitreous humor. When we studied about aqueous humor, we studied the aqueous humor is a water-like substance or water-like fluid. It is formed from where? It is formed from blood and reabsorbed back into blood. What is the function? It give oxygen and nutrients to the cells of the eye. That we studied already. Now, when the reabsorption of aqueous humor is blocked, what will happen? Aqueous humor will be accumulated in our eye. All the aqueous humor will be stored there. So the pressure in the eye will be increasing. Actually, aqueous humor is coming to give oxygen and nutrients to the eye, and after giving that, it will go back into the blood itself. That go back or reabsorption, when it is blocked, what will happen? The pressure in the eye will be increasing and we will have pain in the eyeball. That condition is called what? That condition is called glaucoma. So when the reabsorption of what? Aqueous humor is blocked or when it is stuck, what will happen? That will increase the pressure inside the eye. Then that will cause damage to retina and photoreceptor cells, and ultimately it leads to blindness. When this pressure increases, that will damage the retina and one more part, photoreceptors, when the pressure increases. And last, when the retina and photoreceptors are damaged, it will lead to a condition called what? Blindness. Such a dangerous disease is glaucoma. How it can be treated? Or it can be rectified, or it can be treated by laser surgery, a new type of surgery. By using that, completely it can be cured, or it can be treated, or it can be rectified, or it can be solved. So treatment is there, but for the treatment you have to reach at the earliest stage. Then complete recovery will be there. Otherwise, we may fall blind. Okay. So glaucoma is okay. How it is caused? When the reabsorption of aqueous humor is blocked. Pressure increases inside the eye. That is what? Glaucoma. What is the symptom? We will have pain in the eye. Then we will have pressure in the eye. That is the symptoms. Then what is the rectification or what is the treatment? It is what? Laser surgery. Okay. Yes. Next part, that is cataract. Cataract normally it affect the persons having the age level more than 60. Okay. It is a condition of becoming the lens opaque. Lens become opaque and he will be unable to, or resulting in blindness. He will be unable to see with that eye. That is what is called blindness. So eye become opaque and he become blind. Such a condition is called what? Cataract. In Malayalam it is called Timiram. Okay. If there is grandparents in your house, most of them will be affected with this problem. So anyhow, that is what is called cataract. Then this cataract can be treated or rectified by what? Lens transplanting surgery, or lens transplanting or replacing the defected lens with another artificial lens, or change the lens, defected lens with a new artificial lens, or lens replacing surgery, or lens transplanting surgery, anything you can say. Okay, so cataract is also over. Next we will study about conjunctivitis, last disease. Conjunctivitis. Conjunctivitis is a common disease in our place also. Sometimes most of you also may be affected with these diseases. It is an infection. It is not a disorder, it is a disease. Okay. Here it is caused by the infection to the conjunctiva. Look, conjunctivitis. So easy to remember, infection to conjunctiva. That is the reason for conjunctivitis. Then actually the infection is caused by bacteria or virus. Then the symptom, when this infection is there, the white colored part of this sclera will be reddish in color, or reddishness to the eye. That is the symptom, and with that reddishness a Malayalam term will be named for this disease, like Chengan. Okay. So conjunctivitis is an infection to the conjunctiva, and that infection is caused by bacteria and virus. Then the main symptom is what? Symptom is reddishness to the eye. That much. And the treatment for this disease is what? Personal hygiene. Keep the eyeball and the surroundings clean. Wash by using soap. Then what will happen? The dirt, dust and other oils, everything will be lost from this area. Then there is no chance for growing any bacteria or virus or such disease causing organisms. So simple, that much only. Infection to conjunctiva, that is called conjunctivitis. It is caused by the infection to conjunctiva. Then what is the symptom? Reddishness to the eye. What is the condition of the disease? That person will be having some pain or difficulty. Mainly this only, reddishness. What is the treatment? Person following or keeping personal hygiene. Okay. So diseases are over. Next part, protection of the eye. Look, eye is a major part in our body, or major sense organ in the body. 80% of the senses are provided through the eye. That much important part it is. So it is to be protected. Then what are the measures that we can take to protect the eye from disorders and diseases? Main thing, include vitamin A rich food materials in the daily diet. Vitamin A rich food materials are to be included in the daily diet. That is the first thing that we have to do related to this. Okay. Second thing, the use of mobile phone and computer is to be reduced. Why? Because when we look at the screen, the powerful light that will enter into the eye and that will be reaching to the photoreceptors. Continuously, when this kind of intense light fall into the eye, that will make destruction, or that will destroy the photoreceptors, and finally, or after a long break, we will be unable to see clearly in dim light. Okay, such problems will be there. That's why the screen time is to be reduced. If you are watching the classes, there itself no need of looking at the screen full time. Some part there the audio is only needed. There you need not look at the screen. You want to hear the sound and you can note down in your notebook. Do like that. Reduce the screen time, even if it is in phone, or even if it is in the computer, or even if it is in the TV, anywhere. So these are other things. Vitamin A rich food materials that is to be included excessively in the food. That will help us. Vitamin A is the major vitamin that is needed for the health of the eye. Okay. So with this we can stop today's class. Balance all we will discuss later on. So study these things. As I told you, reason, then symptoms or condition, treatment. In that mode, you can study all these diseases. Okay. Don't forget 10th standard. This is your SSLC period. Don't forget it. I know you will not forget, but again I am reminding you that why I am reminding now. If the repeated reminding, that will help you to be focused on the study materials. So do so, study very well, then keep a good thought or good, objective or aim in your mind after passing the SSLC, what is to be done, and in the life where I have to reach. Such a goal you set, or such an aim you keep in your mind, then you study. You can achieve whatever you aimed that you can achieve. So do so, study very well. Doubts you can clear with me. So we can see in the next class. Then thank you. Have a nice day. Balance we will see later on. Okay.